Thank you so much for joining us today,
Yes,
Chef.
no, it's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate you being here. This is how many Chef DeChellis for you?
I don't know. A lot.
I don't either. A lot. Yes.
A lot.
But you've been pretty busy this year.
6 or 7,
haven't you?
yes.
You've got a fancy logo there on your jacket.
I do.
Do you want to tell us where you've been?
So I got back 5 days ago from a month in Milan. I was over working at the Olympics and basically worked at every venue in Milan proper.
Okay.
So that was basically everything except skiing, snowboarding, anything that was in Cortino, which was about 4 hours north. And I was happy to not be stuck in the mountains in a blizzard while it was really nice. Cortina is basically like Aspen of Europe. But I've worn that t-shirt before, so I don't really want to stay in the mountains and be snowed in. I much rather wanted to be in Milan.
Yeah.
And it was just, the whole thing was awesome. The first week.
Let's back up.
Yeah.
How did you get this opportunity? Like, how does someone get to go to the Olympics to chef?
It's by invite only.
Yes.
I was one of 2 non-native Italians that were invited to come to the games. And I have a very good friend who is a chef hotelier who owns a villa in Cortimia, which is near Alba.
Okay.
And I had known about this opportunity for about 6.5 years, because that's how far out they plan, right? They usually will announce, I think, 2 or 3 years in advance of where it's gonna be at, but there is a significant amount of logistical planning. And so my mentor, his name is Carlo Zari, he was the director of culinary and food and beverage for the company that was overseeing all of the games, which is a company that, I think it's an American-based company, but they do the Super Bowl, they do a lot of really big sporting events. And so I guess sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know a little bit. So he gave me the opportunity to come over, and so that's how I initially got there.
So you knew a long time ago that this was going to happen. Let's talk real quick about the club, because to leave the club for 4 weeks, that's no easy feat.
No,
so
it was
I think
not.
the planning for that probably same as the Olympics.
2.5 years that I was sure that it was going to be a thing. I talked with my boss and talked to the GM and the club president, and it's a good piece of marketing for the club too. I'm completely aware of that, and that was the card that I played. But I also had been we're really fortunate at the club, and we have a decent amount of resources, and I was really able to, I couldn't have done this 5 years ago, for example. There was just no way I could have left. And it was and still feels awkward that I was gone for that long. But it's also 6 hours ahead there. So I would still work from my computer, right? And I know you as a chef, you can only do limited work, but there were certain things that I could still do to help and constantly be checking in. But also the stars aligned, because the only month that we're slow is February.
That's fantastic for you.
It really, like, if this was a different time of the year, I just couldn't have done it. So.
Well, it speaks to what you've built as a team at the Landings Golf and Athletic Club.
Good.
You have a really solid team in place. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll dive all the way into what you did at the Olympics.
Well, we've done something similar when we had an interview a few years ago. And I forget how many folks we had on our team, but currently we have in the back of the house, between cooks, chefs, and other support staff, about 160 folks that work on the team. And we have many distinct different restaurants, about 10 codified different dining concepts, 5 clubhouses.
How much do you do in annual F&B?
About 26 million this year. And it's all private club revenue too. We do a lot of lifting to get to that number. If we were here at the Broadmoor, that number would be much higher. But I'm really proud of the folks that have joined my team and been a part of it, and it's just, I'm really happy where we're at, and we're not done. So we've got a lot of new plans already in the works, and we're building a couple new concepts as we speak. So we're actually running out of land. We need more land. So it would be nice if
problem to have.
Yeah, right? We need more space to build on, but that's not a reality. So now, conversely, we're actually just really in refining it, because the one thing about a lot of our growth happened very quickly. It was almost like I was playing catch up. So finally now we're gonna focus really on just we did great work, but now we're just working on the consistency and just constantly elevating the member experience.
Fine-tuning. That's the fun part.
Right.
All right, let's dive into the Olympics. Okay, so you go away for 4 weeks. What are you doing over there? Tell us the whole story.
So this can be very long, and I'm going to try to really kind of paraphrase some of it.
Okay.
So I first went over. I went about 3 days before my contract started. I was working for a catering company. It's called AFM. And they were in charge of the opening ceremony at San Siro Stadium, Rofiera Complex, which if you've ever been to the World Congress Center in Atlanta or McCormick Place or the Javits Center, it's like that, but bigger. It was huge. And that was where ice hockey, figure skating, and speed skating was mainly at.
Okay.
And that was my initial contract. So that's what I thought I was getting into. I arrived a few days early, stayed in a hotel, and part of the arrangement, and I told them, I said, I don't really care what you pay me. I'm not here for money, but you're gonna get me a place in downtown Milan, and that can be a good portion of my payment, because I don't know how to do that, and I need you to square that away from me.
I'm gonna be there for a long time, I wanna sleep well.
Yeah, so I remember the first day I arrived, I had left, it was a red eye, I didn't sleep on the plane, got off the plane, I'd been in Europe more than once, but I was never there, like, by myself, and like the reality that I'm like, holy shit, I'm here.
Yeah.
And there's, I don't speak Italian.
I was just gonna
fluently.
ask if you speak Italian enough to get by.
Yes, I speak enough to get by now, but then I certainly didn't, and I certainly wasn't confident enough. So anyway, we get to the hotel, and it's just a day or two of just figuring out. The thing that I was really worried about was the transit system, right? I have a hard time figuring out a subway in English, okay? Let alone a foreign language, and that was generally the only way that you can move around. And the public transportation, specifically in Milan, is first class. You can take trolleys, you can take buses, you can take the subway, you can take cabs, they're all over, but the rates, if you wanted to take a 10-minute cab ride, it was 100 euros, which meant it was about $125, which I did from time to time when I was really in a pinch, but there was no way, because I was moving all over Milan the entire time.
To figure it out.
So backing up, I get there to the hotel, and again, I meet my gentleman Carlo, who helped get me the opportunity, but by this time I'm not working for him. I'm working for the company that he had me contract with. And I did a Interpol, FBI background. I did a lot of things before I went. So my contract just said, show up here at this time. It was a Sunday, and this was maybe on Friday or Saturday. And he said, no, you have to go get your full accreditation and your full credentials. It looked very similar to the badges we get here, except on steroids.
Okay.
And you go into this huge building in the middle of downtown Milan, and if you've never been in Milan, the driving, I just explained some of the transit, all of that's happening all at once. There's Lime scooters, there's people riding bikes, there's little micro cars zipping around 1,000,000 miles an hour. It was crazy. It was a culture shock for me, for sure. I was like scared to walk down the street and cross the road, because I also like the signs obviously aren't in English, and all the color coding is different. Yes, the stop sign's still red, but a lot of the other things are not. So I just was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get hit by a car. And so I go to this building, guns everywhere, Carabinieri, which is a form of the Italian military police. They have a Guardia di Finanza, which is kind of like the IRS, but they don't wear suits. They wear military uniforms and have big guns too. Then there's the local police, then the Polizia, Interpol. It was very intimidating. So I went to this place, they searched everyone. I went up, tried to get my accreditation, just to paraphrase, it didn't work out. They told me my name wasn't in the system. So it took
Did your heart fall out?
Yes, and I also hadn't slept. So this is still like the second day. I really didn't sleep much. I was not happy, just to say the least. And it opened 2 hours after they said that I showed up at 7 a.m. because that's when it was supposed to be open. It opened at 9:06. So I stood there for like 2 hours waiting, only for them to tell me basically to pound sand and leave, and then I'd have to come back. So I eventually got my accreditation a few days later, and my first assignment was at San Siro Stadium. That is where Milan and Inter Milan play soccer. So it's a huge football arena, and that is where the opening ceremony was at.
Right.
So we worked 2 days there, and that was really where the weight of I wasn't in America in a kitchen. I've worked in a lot of different kitchens in many different formats. So the kitchen and the size of it and the scope didn't scare me, but that no one spoke English. The way that they have their sanitation practices are very good. but they're just different than what we're used to.
Yeah.
And everything's in Celsius, which I knew. I wasn't like shocked, but the reality of it. And yes, I know that 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling, but I can't tell you how to cook a steak mid-rare with, and there was no time for a conversion chart. There were so many people there. It was such a high-paced kitchen, and I was a supervising chef, which was nice to actually not be the number one, but I couldn't have been because I couldn't speak with a level of fluency.
Right.
So we did that for 2 days. And then we went back to Row Fiera, which is, again, that was kind of like the nuclear hub for this catering company. So they had their big, massive kitchen in this facility, and we were feeding 2,000 to 3,000 people a meal period, 2 times a day. And that was everything from all of the staff meals, which were incredibly high-end. Vitello Tonato, beautiful desserts, but then we also did the Olympic lounges, which were the family lounges, the VIP lounges, and then the athletes, for the athletes. And I did that for again about a day or two, and then they sent me back to Sensero for the opening ceremony, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a lot of work. The work didn't scare me, but it was just, the whole place came alive.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of famous people and rubbed elbows, but I've never been in one room where it's like, oh, there's Snoop Dogg, there's Stanley Tucci, there's Jeff Goldblum, there were so many people I just couldn't even remember all of them.
Yes.
I talked briefly with Stanley Tucci, said what's up to Snoop Dogg for like 2 seconds, but again, I wasn't there, I was there to work, and I wasn't walking around in my Team America jacket. I was wearing a blank white chef coat. Everyone thought I was Italian for the most part, because I could speak in pleasantries, right?
Yes.
But if you ask me to speak a formal sentence, I'll tell you, mi dispiace parlo poco italiano, which means I'm sorry, I don't really speak a lot of Italian. And then they either stop talking to you or they speak in English. There was a lot of folks who spoke very good English. The younger generation too speaks very good, especially with like the social media, TikTok and many things, a lot of the younger generation. So I always found someone in the kitchen who I kind of yoked myself to, that was kind of my quasi-translator, or if we needed to set a combi oven to a certain temperature, I would tell them, hey, go do that for me, please. And so it kind of worked out. So the opening ceremony kicked off. It was absolutely incredible. We also we did everything for that food service too, except a few of the dignitary boxes, which I got up to go see and help do the setup. But once, like, security was literally no joke. That was one of the biggest hurdles the entire time that we were there.
Security.
Like the first day at Sensero, I walked in the kitchen. There wasn't a ton of food there. There was some. There was a ton of olive oil. There was no salt. There's no spices. And I had met the chef. His name is Antonio Morangi, and he was really pissed off. And I didn't know why. We hadn't built a rapport yet. I just met him. He was kind of wondering why the hell I was there, and so on and so forth. And a day or two later, I found out why he was so angry, because all of the trucks for the last 2 days, the delivery trucks, had been turned away by Interpol because they didn't pass the security clearance.
So all of the ingredients?
So all the ingredients that we needed, like, were not fully there. And I remember one day, like, he came in, he was all pissed off, and he had 2 bags in his hand. It was just the basics of barely what we needed. Sea salt, some sugar, a couple other basic spices.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the food that was cooked, we cooked all the pastas fresh there, all the sauces, but if there was like a casserole dish of something, it came from the central catering warehouse, and they let all of those goods through. But if there was a vendor coming with the supplies that we needed, it wasn't coming in. So basically the chef spent most of his time smuggling in what we needed to be successful the first day or two at Sensero. Then after the opening ceremony, which was epic, the next day I went back to Row Fiera, and that's really when it kicked off, because that's where the hockey prelim started. They did some prelim figure skating, and then all of the speed skating. And just to not make this super long-winded, I was there for about 2 weeks. And my days looked like 6 a.m. till about 5:30, and then it was an hour commute both ways on the subway. And the subway system in Milan is like, at each hour in the morning, you can tell what different class of people, and then finishing with tourists. And it's always busy, and it's always insane. And it's like a highway of like people. There's no cars, but some people are going 1,000,000 miles an hour. There's some people are broken down on the side of the road. And it's like you're zigzagging through, and I knew, I was like, I have 90 seconds to make my train, or I'm gonna sit here for 12 minutes after that. I got lost 3 or 4 times. But that whole experience at Rofiera was really good. We did a significant amount of high volume and a lot of very upscale cuisine out of a kitchen that they must have spent $1 million plus. It was a pop-up kitchen in a tent, but a tent is not right. Like, it was an indoor pop-up facility that had combi ovens. Everything was electric driven. It had ranges that were electric, pasta cookers that were all electric, hood vents, full AC, a garde-manger kitchen. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'd become very good friends, or was developing a rapport with Chef Antonio, and every day at, 10 o'clock, he'd say, Sammy, we take the coffee. And I drank 4 or 5 espressos a day. I'm still coming off of a super highly caffeinated, I think I have an addiction to caffeine more so. I thought I was bad before I went to Italy, and now I'm like, I've already had 3 espressos this morning. So we did that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like any tournament. It's very heavy and loaded. And then as it goes on, people either leave, and the food goes from high volume, because there's a lot of support staff, there's a lot of athletes, to a lot more high-end food, because the VIP people start coming in because they want to watch the end. They want to watch the quarterfinals, semifinals, the gold matches.
Yeah.
But I knew that my time was running out, and my contract had a few more days on it, but I knew the company I was working with there was not much left to do, because specifically for the hockey, that moved over to the new stadium called Santa Giulia, which that contract was held by a different company. And I talked with the company I was working for and said, look, I'm happy to stay on if you want, or if you want to cut my contract short, I don't care, but I would like to have an opportunity to go and see if I can get accreditation to go to Santa Giulia, because that is where my friend Carlo was running all of it's very similar to Row. Every spot had a Olympic Family Lounge, VIP lounges, but specifically there was the Hockey NHL Family Lounge.
Okay.
And I knew that Carlo needed help, because the same thing was happening there, even more so, because this was a brand new stadium.
Okay.
This stadium, Santa Giulia, was not scheduled to be finished until 2027. And they moved it up for the Olympics, and it was 85% done. On the front, all the facade was done, but in the back of the house, it was clear that they were still had some work to do. Literally, they got their certificate of occupancy like a week before the Olympics started. And the security there, the last 3 days of the Olympics, was insane. Like, you could tell, like, right, you definitely are a Secret Service, like you're an American, you're a French, like, because all the dignitaries were there. So they had all their people there.
Yeah.
The Italians had all of their people there. Everyone had huge guns. If you were an Italian, it was like a big show of force. So you had MP5, submachine guns. It was crazy. And then once you got into the building, I liken it to being in like Washington, D.C., where they turn the roads going different ways sometimes, or it's really confusing to get around. It would be like, wait, I just went up that escalator and now it's going down. Or like, I got on that elevator and it let me off on the 2nd floor, but now it's not. Because I was always working on the 2nd floor in this VIP lounge, and the security was intense. So if I had to go to the main kitchen to make sure that the service staff had serving tongs, because I was the only one that had credentials to get through, it took me like 45 minutes to something that should have taken 5.
Yeah.
Because you had to like go upstairs and downstairs. And so anyway, we got there, and I think it was the quarterfinals of the men's hockey is when I first started working at Santa Giulia, and my main responsibility was supervising the Hockey Family Lounge. And so initially it was like Slovakia and Finland who would have their match, and then the Americans played someone else and the Canadians played someone else, and that was the first day. And then the second day, and let me back up. So what we did in this lounge was about an hour before the game, all the families would come in. We had a full food service, very high end, but also very just simplistically done. Beautiful cheeses, beautiful charcuterie displays, a hot soup, a handmade lasagna, and then there was always one action station. And it was polenta with a venison ragu, or they had a bolognese sauce, cheese fonduta. and a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
And they would all come, the families, it was maybe about an hour, like I said, before the match or the game started. They ate a lot of the cheese and charcuterie. They didn't eat too much hot food, drank some alcohol. And then after the first period, there was always about a 10 or 15 minute gap in hockey between the periods. They would all come back in, and that's when they all came to see me or eat, because I was in charge of everything, but I was working the action station.
Yeah.
And so then we would get hit hard. Second period, same thing. But then once the third period started, it would just be very heavy bar snacks.
Okay.
Really nicely presented. And it was really more about the alcohol at that point. And so that was the first day, and that's how every match went. And the second day, it was the same. I'm sorry, I'm kind of mentally thinking back in my head. It's already fading. It's crazy how I thought I would remember more, but it was just very intense.
Yeah.
Second day then was the quarterfinal match. Then the third day was the bronze match. And by this time, I knew that the United States was going to be playing Canada in the gold medal match. And I forget who won. Maybe it was Finland or something in the bronze. But then the next day, there was only one match. It was the last day. And also through each day, we were kind of trying to gauge, because if you ran out of something, there was no way you were getting it. It was impossible.
Yeah.
And some days we had 2 matches. There was one day that we ran out of red wine. It was a big deal. No, and it was one of the times the Americans were coming in. It was like the Canadians for someone else, and then the Americans came in, and we didn't have any red wine. And it was like, and there was no way to get it. I knew there was like a ton of wine, but you just physically could not go to get it. Because they had security checkpoints once the game started, and it was a hard stop. They could care less. So then, now fast forwarding to the end of the story here, was the final gold medal match. And similar as normal, first period, second period, third period. And by then, I kind of knew like I was done. My whole contract was basically over. So I was watching in the VIP lounge on TV, but literally like 5 feet away is the arena on the skybox level. And I poked my head out. I was like, okay, that's pretty awesome. And then came back in, and then we went to overtime. And I just was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going in there. I had my full chef toque on. I had this VIP access that had some black card, which basically said like, let me through, unless you had a big gun. And the people that were blocking the entrance were more like usher kind of volunteers. Like if you wanted to go into a VIP skybox, there were dudes with guns, you know? But so here I walked in, and I watched us win in overtime. It was like about a minute and a half. It was absolutely crazy. For the record, and I really don't like hockey all that much. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but
you are now.
It was awesome. Just the energy in the room was great. And then it dawned on me. I was like, I think I need to go back to the green room because everyone's going to come back after the ceremony, and we still had a responsibility after the matches too. While the main food service was over, there was still heavy snacks, some charcuterie, a lot of alcohol. And basically, I came back. The families eventually came back after the gold medal match, or after the gold medal ceremony. They came back, and I basically worked and helped tend bar for like an hour and a half and kind of partied with the hockey team.
That's amazing.
And by that time, I started, because I was not speaking English most of the time. Most people just thought I was like an Italian person, and I started speaking in English, and I took out a coat that was similar to this that I had everyone sign. And I actually wore it too, and I had a couple glasses of red wine, so it made it a little bit easier to kind of peruse around the room, and it was a very special moment and something that I'll certainly remember forever.
That's incredible.
So that was in a nutshell the whole trip, and then my family came, and we took 5 days, and then we went through the south of Italy and flew out of Rome. And now here I am a week later.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So one lesson learned that you'll bring back to the landings from that experience?
I learned a true level of hospitality that I thought I understood, but the Italians do it right. There were some things maybe I saw that scratched my head, and that's okay because everyone does things differently, but being genuinely nice and caring about the products at a really base level was something more. We're in America, specifically at my club, we're so high volume, it's so go, go, go. Sometimes you just have to appreciate the basics more. Because sometimes we may guess very nice, highly I don't want to call manipulated, but we made really nice plates. But a lot of times we served beautiful food, simply presented.
Yeah.
And so I would say definitely we're focusing on some of our base ingredients. I learned that. Some of the different sanitation practices that they have too, I think that I would institute. They use alcohol to sanitize. In the States, we use ammonia quat-based sanitizers. And the alcohol, when you clean with it, it also shines and polishes everything. Oh. So there's no mist or film anywhere. So that would be certainly something that I would take. And then I've also, again, especially in Italy, it's everything is about making a call to somebody.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that's how we got through security checkpoints. And the chef, Antonio, he literally every day would be nicely bribing the cops, the different levels of security, taking them, you'd be bribing them with food and just being genuinely hospitable. Because I knew he was being nice, but he also knew when the truck came through, he needed security to let it through. Otherwise, we weren't going to be successful for the day.
Yeah.
But he's also helped. We're gonna look at getting some really hyper local ingredients for the club. That, yes, you can call a broker here and you can get ingredients from Italy or Europe, but you have to really know somebody and they have to genuinely really like you. Yeah. I also went and he took me to the second largest distribution center of truffles in the world. And it was a place called Team Tartufi. I was in a room, they had, and this is at the end of the winter season, they had 550 pounds of fresh truffles and 3,000 pounds of frozen truffles. Then they had a processing room. And we went into this processing room. It was just like 4 worker bees who each knew exactly what they were doing. One was had a little brush and was dusting and cleaning them. One was trimming and peeling some scrap. One was taking that scrap and making salts or different provisions. And then one person was packaging all of them up in what would basically be a cryovac bag. And it was cool because I looked over, I think I took a picture, I can't remember it. It was like United Arab Emirates, Australia, United States of America, Canada. It was every continent in the world where all of these truffles were going.
What a cool experience.
So, yeah.
So more truffles on the menu.
Yes, right? Truffles and truffles. So.
Well, what a wonderful thing you got to experience. Yeah. And I'm grateful for you sharing your story with us. We look forward to watching how this all unfolds. Will you go back?
If it would be in Italy or somewhere else again. Yes. They made a reference to helping out in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I might, but I also moved from California. We'd see. I don't know if I would take 3 weeks off again to do it.
Yeah.
But if they needed someone to go help and do a VIP lounge for a week, I'd love to take some of the apprentices from our club out to have that experience. I don't think I'd sign up to go live in Los Angeles again for a month, though.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Chef.
Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, and hold on. I have a special gift for you. So
I love gifts.
This is the last one. This is the certified pin from the Milano Cortino games.
Oh my gosh.
So it's the very last one that I have. So
thank you so much for this.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoy it.
This is so special. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Absolutely.